I don't believe marriage should be about money, but there are individuals who prioritize wealth above all else. My sister-in-law, Selena, happened to be one of them. Never did I imagine that greed would rear its head over an inheritance after my brother, a respected surgeon, passed away. I'm Mary Smith, the manager of a jewelry store, content with my single life at 31. Yet with my boyfriend's recent proposal, I'm considering taking the plunge into marriage. As our families gather tomorrow to celebrate our engagement, tensions simmer beneath the surface. My older brother Tyler, a prominent surgeon in Tokyo, has always been both a protector and a mentor due to our age gap. Upon hearing of my impending nuptials, he jests about vetting potential suitors as if he were my father, earning a chuckle from me. But beneath his teasing lies a hint of concern. Tyler's own marriage to Selena, a woman of stunning beauty but questionable values, exemplifies the clash between appearance and substance. Despite their glamorous facade, Selena's materialistic tendencies strain familial bonds. Her penchant for luxury often takes precedence over commitments, leaving us disappointed and frustrated. Initially, we excused Selena's behavior, attributing it to the pressures of her looks. Yet, as her disregard for family gatherings grows, tolerance wanes. Her last-minute cancellation of tomorrow's meeting, swapping it for afternoon tea at a renowned hotel, epitomizes her selfishness. While her absence wouldn't trouble us, it's her lack of consideration that irks me the most. I refuse to be at her beck and call, forever accommodating her whims. I attempted to confide in my brother, but his soft spot for Selena hindered any meaningful conversation. He'd apologized for the inconvenience and assured me he would address her behavior. "I'll be there tomorrow," he promised, persuading me to let the matter rest. What irks me most isn't just Selena's selfishness, but also how she manipulates my busy brother into apologizing for her, running errands, and relaying messages on her behalf. Despite being a full-time housewife, Selena avoids household chores by hiring cleaners and opts for dining out. Her schedule revolves around acquiring branded goods, leaving little room for genuine responsibilities. The next day's family meeting proceeded smoothly, with my boyfriend securing everyone's approval. It seemed like a pleasant affair, albeit short-lived. However, that evening, as I was winding down from the day's events, Selena's unexpected call shattered the peace. She erupted into a tirade, demanding scones and macarons while berating me for my supposed negligence. Confused, I attempted to reason with her, only to be met with more screeching. Despite my attempts to clarify, Selena persisted in her demands, oblivious to reason. Her insistence on a souvenir from the hotel, coupled with her unreasonable expectations, left me bewildered and drained. What began as a celebratory evening ended in exhaustion and frustration, thanks to Selena's unreasonable demands and tantrums. I pondered whether Tyler could possibly find solace in his daily routine amidst Selena's turbulent emotional fluctuations. What drove him to marry her in the first place? While her external charm was undeniable, her inward self-centeredness left much to be desired. I couldn't help but wonder if her upbringing had indulged her due to her looks. My concern for Tyler lingered, yet I knew better than to meddle in his marital affairs. It was his choice, after all, and he had always supported my decisions as well. The following day, while attending to customers at the jewelry store, I spotted Selena outside, arm in arm with a man roughly her age, likely in his late 20s. Their cozy chatter as they entered the store caught my attention, and I hesitated before approaching them. Selena's nonchalant attitude towards our encounter only added to my discomfort. When I inquired about her companion, she dismissed him as an old acquaintance from her modeling days. Still, the sight of them together, especially considering her marital status, left me puzzled and uneasy. As Selena perused the jewelry, she brazenly inquired about employee discounts, oblivious to the impropriety of her behavior. Unwilling to entertain her audacity, I politely informed her that such discounts weren't available. In truth, I couldn't stomach the thought of her companion purchasing items for her. Despite her slight annoyance at the revelation, Selena made her selections and departed, leaving her companion to settle the bill. Their dynamic left me questioning the nature of their relationship. In the evening, I mustered the courage to share my observations with Tyler. However, his somber mood indicated that something troubled him deeply. "Tyler, what's wrong?" I asked, sensing his distress. I had a nagging feeling about Selena, but I chose not to confide in Tyler. When I broached the topic of my upcoming wedding, he seemed preoccupied with his own plans. He mentioned saving for our wedding next year and invited me without a clear response regarding Selena's involvement. His indecision left me wondering. Despite my attempt to share wedding details, Tyler remained non-committal. His abrupt departure from the call, coupled with his vague invitation to meet at our parents' house, left me puzzled. Perhaps he wasn't feeling well. Tyler, a dedicated surgeon, often prioritized others' well-being over his own. Tyler's tendency to downplay his own health concerns worried me. Despite his laughter about the occupational hazards of his profession, I couldn't shake the feeling that his relentless schedule was taking a toll on him. I doubted Selena's ability to provide the support he needed, given her self-centered nature. A subsequent email from Tyler outlined the gathering schedule at our parents' house. When I arrived, I was alarmed by his deteriorating complexion, worse than I had ever seen. Concerned, I inquired about his well-being, only to receive vague reassurances about work keeping him busy. Finally, I mustered the courage to voice my concerns about Selena's recent behavior. I recounted her appearance at my store with a young man, questioning if Tyler was being deceived once again. Selena's history of infidelity had long been a concern of mine, and I couldn't ignore it any longer. I've been too caught up with work to give her much attention, my brother admitted, but our parents were incensed. Her absence at the gathering provided the perfect opportunity for me to broach the subject. When I questioned Tyler about Selena's well-being, he responded solemnly, "Selena isn't here today, which is why I asked you all to come. I have a favor to ask." With a grave expression, Tyler disclosed something shocking. Despite our disbelief, his stance remained unwavering, leaving us stunned. 3 months later, tragedy struck as my brother succumbed to stomach cancer, a consequence of relentless stress and overwork. It was a bitter realization. Despite his dedication to saving lives, he neglected his own health. Even amidst his suffering, Tyler had recognized the signs, undergoing a grueling examination that revealed his illness. Regret lingered as we wished he had confided in us sooner. Tears flowed freely at his funeral, a profound sense of helplessness enveloping us. Fond memories of Tyler flooded my mind, the steadfast support he provided during my childhood struggles and setbacks. His premature departure, before reaching the age of 40, left us grappling with sorrow and uncertainty. Yet, amidst our grief, Selena's behavior stood out starkly. Clad in the ostentatious necklace purchased from my store, a gift from another man, she showed no regard for the solemn occasion. Her callous display was unforgivable, a painful reminder of her self-serving nature. Transforming my sorrow into fury, I confronted Selena, unable to comprehend her audacity. "Why are you wearing that?" I demanded, my voice trembling with anger. "Don't you understand how much my brother cherished you?" Selena, seemingly unfazed, met my accusation with a disingenuous smile. "Of course I know," she retorted casually. "It's just the way things are in this world. If you're unhappy, why did you marry me?" Her callous words cut deep, and I struggled to contain my indignation in front of my brother, our parents, and the other mourners. Beneath Selena's selfish facade, her disregard for my brother's memory was painfully evident. Even as I longed for her to face consequences, she callously continued, lamenting the end of their relationship. Her cavalier attitude towards marriage and her anticipation of inheritance left me seething with rage. Before I could restrain myself, my hand moved instinctively to slap her, but it was intercepted by a man at her side. As I registered his presence, he introduced himself as a nurse who had worked with Tyler, sent to protect me at his behest. Confusion clouded my thoughts as I struggled to comprehend the situation. Amidst the solemnity of the funeral, laughter rang out from the gathered nurses and doctors, colleagues of my late brother. Despite my anguish, their camaraderie provided a fleeting sense of comfort amidst the turmoil. I turned to the man who intervened during the nurse's laughter, seeking clarity amidst the confusion. His response was blunt. "Did the doctor leave any inheritance behind? Your family should know." His words struck a chord. I knew the truth all too well. My brother hadn't left a single yen of his inheritance. Yet Selena, unaware of this fact, spiraled into hysteria. Accusations flew as she accused us of plotting to deceive her and seize the money for ourselves. With fervor, she awaited the revelation of Tyler's wealth, confident in her impending windfall. As Selena's tirade reached a fever pitch, the nurse's amusement turned to outright hysteria. Sensing the need to intervene, my father stepped forward, his voice calm yet firm. "Do you truly not know?" he inquired. Impatient for answers, Selena demanded an explanation. Reluctantly, I obliged, revealing my brother's financial arrangements made during his lifetime. He had generously set aside 10 million yen for my wedding fund, among other gifts. As the truth sunk in, Selena's complexion shifted from blue to white. My brother, though revered for his expertise, had a penchant for extravagant spending to alleviate stress. Lavish parties, exclusive dinners, and luxury accommodations drained his resources, all in a bid to find solace amidst his demanding career and familial obligations. Despite his generosity and desire to share these experiences with Selena, she remained conspicuously absent during his trials and triumphs. It wasn't Selena by his side during difficult moments. It was his colleagues and friends, the very individuals now gathered to bid him farewell. The nurses, their laughter subsided, shared heartfelt memories of my brother's kindness and generosity. Despite his demanding schedule, he made time to care for them, inviting them to parties that left a lasting impression. Their admiration for him only deepened, inspiring them to work harder in their own endeavors. As they spoke, I learned of my brother's final act of benevolence. He had donated the remainder of his estate to the hospital. Representatives from the General Hospital, grateful for his contribution, bid him farewell. Their yearly struggles with research funding would be alleviated, ensuring better medical care for the future. Witnessing the extent of my brother's compassion toward others, I couldn't help but feel a pang of disappointment towards Selena. While he had touched so many lives, she, who should have been closest to him, exhibited selfishness and greed. Months later, Selena contacted me, her tone demanding as she sought to secure her inheritance. However, her careless handling of the estate revealed a shocking truth. Despite my brother's substantial earnings, his assets had been depleted. In her pursuit of the mansion and other assets, Selena had overlooked Tyler's debts, leaving her with a fraction of what she had anticipated. Her plea for assistance fell on deaf ears, as I reminded her that our familial ties had dissolved with Tyler's passing. Her actions spoke volumes. Despite claiming to care for my brother, her true motives had been laid bare. "I'll help you out of trouble, but how can you expect that after being so selfish until now?" I retorted to Selena, her impatience evident in her voice as she grappled with the sudden reality of inheriting both the mansion and debts. "Inheritance includes liabilities," I reminded her coldly, informing her that renouncing the inheritance was an option within 3 months of being informed. Suggesting she sell the luxury items she had collected only elicited tears and pleas for forgiveness from Selena, but I couldn't bring myself to console her. Despite her remorse, I ended the call, unable to reconcile her actions with my brother's memory. With my brother's passing, my wedding was postponed by a year. My husband and in-laws, noticing my lingering depression, offered understanding and support. Determined not to disappoint my late brother, I vowed to live a life of gratitude, helping those who had stood by me. At the wedding, my brother's popularity became evident as colleagues paid their respects at his grave. Learning of his generosity towards his co-workers, I feared his kindness might be exploited. Yet, the genuine outpouring of support proved otherwise. Meanwhile, rumors of Selena's downfall circulated within the jewelry industry. Her extravagant spending habits and questionable relationships painted a stark contrast to my brother's generosity. Forced to sell her mansion, she now eked out a living in humble accommodations, burdened by mounting debts. Reflecting on Selena's misfortunes, I couldn't help but feel vindicated in my belief that marrying for money was wrong. I vowed to honor my brother's memory by protecting his legacy just as he had always protected me.